Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching my videos. This is the second video on HTML tutorial. I am using w3schools.com to explain about HTML for beginners. If you have not watched my previous video, go to my channel how to and tutorials and watch my first video on HTML and then come back here, and prior to that one you install exam pp to do the experiments in your local setup. I have created a video and I am also giving the link in the videos so that you can watch it before starting your HTML tutorial. So in previous video we discussed till HTML links. In this video we are going to discuss starting from HTML images. So images can improve the design and appearance of the page, that we already know. So let us test it. So how to use it? We have to use the img as the to create img as the tag and src as the attribute, and in double quote we have to give the file name. This is the relative file name which is there in the server, and then we are actually giving the alt value as truly, and then we are also giving the width and height. Okay, for example, you want to change it to some 600, you can change, right? And then 433. Okay, then run it. You see it has increased. For example, if you give it 1, then what will happen? Only alt value which is mentioned here will be displayed. Okay, so that is what you need to understand. Example, image alt, we discussed this. So HTML has image, src, and then it specified the path to the, either you can give absolute URL or relative URL, and then alt is to display when URL is not found. Okay, so and always ensure that alt is mentioned so that a corresponding title is displayed, corresponding value is displayed in case of image is not found. Okay, and then you can use the size, width and height, and also you can use a style also to specify the width and height also, as we have seen in this case, right? You can increase width and height and in the style format. Okay, increase, decrease in the percentage terms or in the pixel terms. So images, if they are in another folder, you can create in that particular folder properly in the src folder. If it is in another server, you give the absolute URL, not a relative URL. Okay, so animated images, you can keep it in GIF format also. It will allow to display in the image tag. So you can also mention that as a link. Okay, so you mention the image and then make the link. Okay, here href default.sp. So when you click on that particular image will be, when you click on that image, particular link will be triggered and will display corresponding. So these are the tags we learned. img, src, alt is the attribute, src is the attribute in the img, and width and height we can use the css also, and proper to let the image float left to the right. Okay, so HTML image map. So HTML map tag defines the image map. An image map is image with clickable areas. So the areas are defined with one area or more areas. Okay, try this one. See here, if you click, okay, so it is pointing to a different one, right? So clickable area. Okay, you click, it is pointing to the different one, phone. Then this is a cup. Okay, so you can actually assign a map and then use it. Okay, you see this area, map, and then area with the okay coordinates, and then it's a corresponding HTML file. So you can, so this is the map, and then this is the coordinates. These are the coordinates for mobile, and these are the coordinates for, even if you click here, right? Okay, it is a circle which is a rectangle. Okay, and whenever you click in the particular circle, it will highlight, and then the corresponding href will be displayed. So this is straightforward. Direct, okay, what as we discussed, right, the corresponding area. Okay, so polymers you need to mention all the coordinates properly. You see, you need to mention all the coordinates. Then only this particular, okay, area will be highlighted. Okay, okay, JavaScript we will discuss that later. HTML background images, you have to use, background image, and then you can have the URL. You see, this is the background image. Okay, and then this particular text is displayed on the image. Background image on a page, the entire page. Okay, you can add it here in the body. Background image, repeat, you can create it based on size is not there, you can repeat it. Background cover, okay, URL, no repeat, fixed cover. Stretch, if you want, you can stretch it. So that is the picture element allows you to display different pictures for different devices on screen sizes. Okay, so source minimum width screen set is this one. If minimum width is this one, you use this one. So based on, so for responsive probably you can utilize this one, but response is different. It's a bandwidth also you can verify. If you have a small screen, it is not necessary to. Okay, the browser will use that. Format support based on, the browser will use the first image format it recognizes. Okay, so use this, and favicon, is the favicon here. It is nothing is shown, right? If you want to add it, favicon, we can add it in icon, and then we can actually display there. Okay, so link relative icon type image and images favicon. Okay, favicon, if you have, you can keep it there, and then it will display in the corresponding place. HTML page title, now we have reached title. So title is the, which will display at the end. Here you are seeing it, welcome XAMPP. So whatever you have prepared here, that will actually come at the title of that particular URL. Okay, as I mentioned, HTML tutorial, right? It will actually display HTML title tag. we want to test it. Let us use this and save in our sample file. Okay, and let us test this one. Okay, you see title has changed HTML tutorial. Okay, so for the search engine optimization, people who want to make the title with the proper title tag. Okay, when all the Google or any other uh, browsers or crawlers crawl it, right, they take the title and the description and headings, important content from the title where they are from that page when they're calling. Okay, so now we are coming into a more advanced topics of HTML, which is a table. A table will have a columns and it will have a rows, right? So how do we create the table? So we can create the dynamic table and a static table. So now we are talking about, but in your program you will write a dynamic table. A table template will be created and dynamic data will be, each row will be generated, added and then displayed back. Okay, so you will work on those, but it is the, you know, this is the title, right? You see here. So table style is with 100% we are saying, and tr is the record and th is the column. Okay, table header and these are the table data. Tr is the record and td. So you need to ensure that a table is ended with slash table, a tr is ended with each record, and th header is ended with slash th, and table data is ended with. So this is like a formatting of that particular, table, and then we are displaying here. Okay, you can also test in your program in your browser, right? How this will look. Okay, like this. Fine. So let us go back. So table tr td th. Okay, tr stands for table row and th means table header. Table header is one. Okay, so you use this. What we have learned here is table ta tr, okay, column, thread, t body, t foot. So all those you can use it. So table borders. Now we have created table, right? Then if you want to have a borders, you need to have a border and then style. Okay, table ts. What is that style we want? You can create it and then make that, table border, collapsed border. Okay, for example, thick border. Okay, right? Table with border. So it is the, you have mentioned here in the style and we are using that. Similarly, you want to use it collapsed table borders. You have solid black, collapse, and these are collapse, right? Style, then you can add style also in a particular table. Okay, table, the background color is this much. You can have a background color of each row also. Okay, so for example, you see this round one. Okay, the style. So whatever the style you want, you need to, implement in particular table. Okay, so that is corresponding, uh, you know the style is displayed for the table borders. Okay, you can also have a color to the borders. So understand how to create the styles to the borders and then add it, and then you can, so you can have a HTML table sizes, and then each column can have a specified width and height also. Okay, where you can mention the width and height specifically, okay, in the style. Okay, for example, here first one is 100%, second one is 70%, like that. Okay, so remaining it will occupy. So you can have styles to the corresponding um, tables also. Okay, then table headers, you can create table headers that with the th, right? You give it the th and you give it the format also. Th element, vertical table headers, you see, left side. Okay, and right side is the data. Ln table headers, left justified, right justified, center justified. You can actually do it in the styling. So learn all those things. If it is left, if it is middle, right? So you need to add the styles and then make it. Practice all these things. Table caption, right? At the top of that you can add the table caption. So you can create that one also. So you need to understand how to use the stylish table padding and the spacing, how much space is required, how much padding is required. You use that in the THTD. What is the space, what is that, what is the alignment, and then you make it. Nowadays editors are available, it will save your time, but for your understanding you need to understand how this is working. Row span, you can merge it, right? Column span, how many columns that particular thing. Row span, you can add it. Okay, and then you can write the code. Table styling, the entire table styling, how that style should look like, how. So based on the style what you mention, it will work. So you can group it, column group. Okay, and columns group together, and you can have styles to the columns. Okay, column group. Okay, these are the column groups. So that is about the styles, tables. Let us talk about list items. HTML list allows web developers to group a set of related lists in a items in a list. So it can be an ordered list or unordered list. You see, in a word you have the list, right? It is similar to that, but you have to specify it properly so that browser will display in that particular order. So you will have unordered list UL, okay, and ordered list, and unordered list, and ordered list item start with li tag. You see, these are the unordered list and the tag items. You see, unordered list, that means no order. So ordered list you have to give OL, that means it will give 1, 2, 3. Right? Unordered list also you have multiple styles. You don't have to use bulleted points here, but you can add it based on the style. HTML description list. Description description is a term list of terms with the description of each line item, right? So description, okay, like this. DL and then DT and then DD. DL, DT, DD. It should continue. Okay. We have seen unordered, it will come with UL, but you can also have multiple disk. Sets the liner marker bullet, circle, circle one, squares, mark them. So this is the disk, okay, right? Square, let us keep it SQUARE, square. Style type. You see, these are square. Okay. circle, square, none. Nested HTML list also you can keep it. List underscore list, horizontal list with the CSS. You see horizontal list. Okay, you can create horizontal list also. So that is all about list items. Let us go to the next chapter. We have been discussing many concepts. Okay, this is ordered list. Ordered list we seen OL with one A, small a, starts with small a, or numbered in uppercase Roman numbers, I uppercase. Okay, these are the samples which you can use it. See 1 2 3, right? You can have all of them in samples. Okay, ordered list, nested HTMLs you can create that one. So if you create a Word document and save it as HTML, all these things will automatically be generated. Or if you use HTML editors, your life will become easy. If you don't mention, it will automatically give DL, DT, different description terms. Okay. Block and inline elements. Every HTML has a default display value depending on what type of element. The two most common display elements are block and inline. Block level. Two commonly used block elements are P and div. Okay. So P is the paragraph and div element defines the division or section in HTML. Okay. They're all blocks, right? No. P, this is the block and this is another block. Okay. This is the general. Okay. That is another block. Here are the block level elements in HTML. Address, article, aside, block quote, canvas, DD, div, DL, DT, field set. Okay, there are many such block. So inline elements, span. Inline means does not start on a new line. It will be with the inline. Span means in that particular line only. Okay. Inline elements, these are all inline elements. Where image, abbreviation A, these are all inline, you can have a span. Div element is often used as a container for other elements. Okay, and no element has no required attribute, but style, class, and ID are common. Span element is an inline container used to mark up a part of the text or a part of that particular element. Okay. Div element, we have seen the div right earlier. It is the block of that particular in HTML. So element takes up all the available width, right? Container of other HTML elements. So let us try this one with the example. Okay, so this is div, and div has the style, and then this is the div part. Okay, the div is only this part. This is the block of this particular div. Okay. So this is the background is this one, and where is the div? Div is in here. This is the div part. Okay, this is the div part, and background is this much. Okay, that is the block of that particular. Okay, and then creating align center align div. Okay, so you can do it with the center align div, right? The center align, only that particular block will be having that style, and we have multiple, right? Then each is a one div, and each div has a style. Okay, each div has its own style. So float property was not originally meant to align div, but we can use it. Okay, let us see it. See, this is the float part. Okay, need not be same, but it can increase, decrease. Inline block. If you want to change the div elements inside, you can have inline also. So div style, this is inline. Inner block, display inner block. Okay. Flex layout module was introduced to make it easier to describe flexible responsive layout structure without using float or positioning. Okay, that is flex is used to make it a responsive way. So HTML class attribute is often used to specify the class for an HTML element. So HTML elements, multiple elements can have. So a particular city, okay, for example, a class attribute is often used to point to a class name style. So set of elements can be a class. Okay, for example here, when we use the element with the class attribute div is a class city with the value of city and all of the three div elements, okay, will be styled equally according to the city. Okay, and class is city. This is the city. Okay, all of them will be equally marked it as a same style. Okay, all the three blocks. Okay, multiple classes. You can have different classes also, and then they play a different format. You have to create that format. Okay, ID. So each attribute can have ID and to distinguish that particular attribute. ID attribute specifies unique ID of the HTML element, and we can actually get that by ID. Okay, in the JavaScript. So ID is my header. Okay, equal to my header, right? A class name can be used by multiple HTMLs, whereas when ID must only be with the one element. Okay, that is the difference. So iframes is used to display a web page within a web page. It is a old style, but now we can actually display another web page within a web page in iframe. Iframes are obsolete now. Okay, but you can still use iframe, and a page can be displayed within the page. It can have borders, styles, all those things within the page that itself is there. So JavaScript should be in the script, and then you can use that document dot get element by id, and then set that inner HTML, what is that value of that particular so you need to go through JavaScript tutorial to understand, but I am going to give a brief of it. In the document that get element by demo, and the style you can set it on the fly, okay, for the HTML tags. Okay, so file paths, image, and you can use src file paths in the relative, as well as web pages. You link that web pages, images, style sheets, and JavaScripts. You can use absolute file path as well as relative file path. Relative file path point to the source, and absolute is a full URL. Okay. and then head tag. We have now want to discuss about head tag. This is very important for the search engine optimizers. So head tag will have a title element. A title element will be used to add the title, and which will display the title of that browser. And style, you can, and a style of that particular entire page or a particular tag we can create in the head. And a link, okay, where we want to link external style sheets and all, we can use it to link. And metadata, meta has what characteristics and what keywords, meta name, keywords, name, description. These are used by the search engine optimization when they are crawling it and then get the values. Okay, in the meta you can use keywords, description, author, okay, and then document refresh every 30 seconds, and then setting the viewpoint, okay, where what is the width and height. So all those things can be set. And the script also you can add it in our and all the JavaScript code is can be added here, as part of the meta tag. So I can use a base to mention what is the base for all the relative URLs. Okay, to not to get into a different URLs. Here you are using it as a base, and then here you mention. Then what will happen is it will reference this slash images slash stickman.gif. Okay, so we will finish as much as possible in this before we go into the forms. So layout is the real estate. How do you want to organize your browser, right? What is the header, what is that navigation links, what are the sections, what are the articles, what are sites, footer. If you see here, right, airreview.com, how I designed this is the layout I used. And then links, and then image, and then left panel, right panel, and middle, and bottom. I used some layout to use this to display. So layout is very much useful to design the page and headers and navigation, what you need to have. Okay, so what you need to do is you can use the division, headers, paragraphs, right, to make it. Okay, and you can use the CSS also to framework to make it proper layouts. Okay, grid layout you can use. So another important point is you know responsive web design is now the requirement for all your pages. So responsive web design means based on your browser and based on your for example, if I keep it here, if I increase here, your browser, your content will adjust according to it. Okay, so that is the responsive. It needs to adjust automatically based on the screen sizes and viewpoints. Okay, if it is a tab, it should display in somehow. If it is a mobile, it should display in different way. If it is a browser, it should be displaying in a different way. So you have to use viewport as a responsive. Okay, to mark it. Okay, based on the width device to make it so to responsive, and your design and your display also should be according to that particular you know uh, your design. Okay, so use that CSS. To use that, Bootstrap also will provide an excellent responsive web designs that we will discuss when we are creating the Bootstrap or CSS tutorials. Let us use this code elements. Now what is this? So you can also do the code. Okay, some mathematics in code, and then add that, and then add. So for keyboard input, you can use the keyboard control S, right, and Okay, for example here control S, right? So it will accept the specific commands. Code also it will display, right? And sample element is used to define sample output from the computer program, right? Yeah, come and experiment. Code, try it yourself. Code and run it. Right, this is the code we want to display. So it will display as it is. It will not execute. Okay. The where element is used to define a variable in a program array in a mathematical form. Okay. So the content inside typical display in italic. Where is a variable. Okay. Semantic elements. Semantic element clearly describes its meaning in both the browser and developer. Example, non-semantic elements div and span, and semantic is a form, table and article. You know, this is article. Okay, it will display header by header. Okay. So I'm rushing fast. If you want, you can come back here and then use this style guide, clean and tidy. So you have to, there is a style guide. Okay, a paragraph, use lowercase element names, don't use capital letters, and then close all HTML elements, don't keep it in air for each tag element. And attribute names, you always keep lowercase letters attributes, and always keep quotes for the attribute values, and always specify alt width height for images, and spaces and equal signs. Okay, HTML spaces, but don't keep it, make it immediate, avoid long code lines, blank lines and indentation. Be careful, this is, you have to use it properly. And never skip the title, so always keep a title for each HTML, and don't remove, don't have uh, uh, don't omit HTML and body in the beginning, and tags, and head tag, don't remove head tag, and close empty HTML elements. Okay, so always keep tag, lang tag, you keep it lang tag, meta tags also you keep it with the title and title as well as description keywords, all those things. Viewport also you keep it so that it will be a responsive, and comments also whenever it is required, and keep the styles whenever it required properly. Loading JavaScript in HTML, keep it in a separate file. Access HTML elements with JavaScript. Use lowercase file names always. File extensions with HTML, .css, .js. Okay. .html and .html both will be treated and accepted. Default file names. Okay, so that is all. So reserved characters in HTML must be replaced with the entities. This is very important in your URL when you are framing that name value pairs. If you want to use it less than in the header, then you can use an ampersand LT, and if you want to use greater than, you can use ampersand GT. Okay, ampersand and entity name. Okay, so that it will use it properly, or you can use it as a uh, you can use it as a you know exa value also. For the space, you can use ampersand non breaking space. Okay, for the space. So all these you need to use non-breaking space, ampersand NBSP, and ampersand, and also you have to use colon, ampersand LT, ampersand GT, ampersand for it, ampersand quote, QUOT, semi, and ampersand apostrophe, ampersand cent, ampersand pound, N dollar, copyright, regular, trademark. Okay, these are standard, and similarly for others also you have, so you can use them in your with other parameters. So come back here and understand HTML symbol entities, right? As I mentioned here, if you keep it here, you can mention in various formats in the ampersand zero colon or in hexadecimal notation, right? So it will be useful to escape it. Okay, so that multiple you are not able to, sometimes you are not able to send it or store in the database. So this will be a better way to display it. So for all, for partial differential, all those things, if you are not able to display, you can display here. And these are special characters we cannot display. If you keep it here in the number form or entity form, you will be able to display it. Okay, so you can easily, you need to understand when you are giving the mathematical sigma. Okay, right, mathematical HTML display, you need to display okay, in this format. Okay, so that the corresponding amount, corresponding symbol will be displayed. Okay, similarly Greek letters also you can come here, alpha, beta, gamma, all those things. And then many other copyrighted, registered. Okay, all those things are there. And then spade also you can actually display. For the cards, if you want to display, you can display. So these are special characters you can display in your, and these you will not be able to mention in the in your these, there are no any character defined for these symbols, so you have to use the combination to display. Okay, and emojis also you can display. It has its own emoji values, you can display in your HTML. Okay, let us try it. Okay, you see, if you display this, so understand, copy paste what you need to display, and it will automatically display that particular symbol. Emoji elements, other elements are also there. There are many elements, so you can download, and you can actually try it. So char set, encoding char set, there are we have UTF standard. Okay, and then ASCII, W code, UTF, GS, and others. So Japanese code also. So based on the char set you can display, and based on that you can ISO 88591 char set, right, identical to this one. So you need to use the proper char set, and then when you are displaying, right, its value varies. Okay, for example 33, all these number signs, some of them will be common, but they are different for different also. Just to see and use them. You see these symbols not used. Okay, so there are symbols and you can use them. URL encoding in, so in the URL, right, what will happen, scheme and the prefix, domain and port and path, file name. This is our URL standard. Okay, now scheme defines the type of internet, either it is HTTP or HTTPS or any other also now, but currently we will talk about HTTP, HTTPS. and prefix should be either www or any other. For example, here we are giving usa.adrev.com, right? Prefix is based on what we actually define, and domain name, that is adrev is the domain name, or w3skills.com, adrev.com is the domain. And then port, by default any browser runs on 80 port, but we can actually change that to the different port also. And path defines where is that particular. Here if you observe in our, we have created a path of HTML here, right? In that, and all the files are stored. Okay, if you see we have created in our example file. Okay, that is the path which is there in http docs, right? And in http docs we have created html, and then all the files which are here are referenced here. That is the path. Okay, subdirectories of that particular file, where that particular file is stored. Okay, and path and file name, that is the file name that is at the end. So this is the path, and then this is the file name, this is the port, and then this is domain and prefix. So hope you understand this. Okay, so ftp file, there are many, but currently we use, so url encoding, as I mentioned, right? So when you are sending, you should encode before you send the special character. You want to send the special characters in the URL, you need to actually encode it with the proper coding with the character. Okay, so be careful when you are sending. So XXTML is the advanced version, more XML based version of HTML. Extensible hypertext markup language is stricter, more XML based version of HTML is the defined as an XML application supported by all major browsers. XML is a markup language where all documents must be marked up correctly, well formatted. Okay, well formatted. Okay, it should have a doctype mandatory. It should have you know HTML mandatory. It should have HTML head and title mandatory. Elements must be always be properly nested. Elements must always be closed, and elements must always be in lowercase. Attribute names must always be in lowercase. Attributes values must always be quoted. Attribute minimization is forbidden. So these are the standard things which is actually stabilized with the standardization and made it, and then this is the standard. Okay, whenever you are keeping, you keep is so that we are actually complied with that particular standard. Okay, and keep the uh, elements with the standards of that particular access HTML. Okay, so that is all. We have come to end of HTML introduction video tutorial 2. Hope you have gone through it. My suggestion to you all is come back to w3schools.com, repeatedly read through it, and come back to my videos and repeatedly understand it. If you have any question, comment in your comment section. I will try to create for all the clarifications. And before I close this video, I want to explain about my offer to all of you. I have an internship opportunity at MySys IT Services Private Limited. It is a registered company. I have 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year internship, and I will also provide trainings based on your requirements, and I have many roles based on your requirement, and I will provide a proper guidance to you. You can actually watch my profile. I have developed many portals, and I'm going to give guidance to you on how to develop yourself as a developer or a tester or affiliate marketer or a video creator or a social media marketer or game developer. I have developed many portals and also developed games, and I can give you a guidance to build your career. You want to start your career with the internship, send mail to submit at mysys.com or connect me in LinkedIn with VMR, and then you can DM me with the requirement. So there is a price for the internship, and it is 1 month, 3 months, and this is the limited period offer, and you can come back and utilize this opportunity as early as possible and build your career. Okay, that is all about the internship. And if you like this video, like this, and then share, subscribe, and comment, and then keep watching my videos. I will keep on adding more and more videos to develop all the community develop